You know that feeling? You're squinting at your tiny little camera screen, hoping your shot is in focus. But then, you get to the edit. And it's not. Then to add insult to injury, everything's underexposed. Great. In my early days of filmmaking, I dealt with this more than I would like to admit, and there's a chance you've experienced it too. But then, I decided to get something that would completely transform how I shoot. A big, bright, beautiful 7-inch external monitor, and from that day forward, I never looked back and realized that bigger is in fact better. I could finally see what I was doing, but it wasn't just about seeing the screen better. That was just the beginning. Action! Today I'm going to show you why having a large external monitor isn't just a nice to have, it's essential if you want to make your shoot smoother and more efficient. All right, that was perfect. Let's do one more for safety. Your camera's built-in screen is tiny, which makes nailing your focus extremely challenging, and when shooting fast-paced movements, nearly impossible. But with a 7-inch monitor, you can actually see the details in your subject, making it way easier to hit focus, even with fast-paced shots. I'll never forget a trip I took to New York to visit my brother. And once I was there, I was going to shoot some stuff, so obviously I brought my camera. The problem is I forgot my monitor. And so once I got there, I tried using my phone, but the cable I had was a little janky and I was having some connectivity issues. So I had no choice. I was forced to frame and focus everything using the built-in monitor, which is this. And how many shots did I come back with that were actually in focus? That's right, not a single one. Luckily, everything I shot was just for fun, but it's still a bummer to come back with absolutely nothing. The most painful part about missing focus is that post-production sharpening tools really can't save you, especially if you're shooting in 4K resolution or more. The higher the resolution, the more obvious your missed focus becomes. So if you've been relying on tiny built-in screens like I did, consider this your sign. A bigger monitor doesn't just help you focus your camera. It helps you focus on what really matters, capturing your images without second-guessing yourself every single shot. Look, anyone can hit record, but if you want quality results, you need the right tools. And I'm not talking about another piece of gear, I'm talking about essential monitoring tools like waveforms, false color, and focus peaking. These aren't just features, they're the difference between hoping it looks good and knowing it does. Have you ever had a bright sky look perfect on camera but turn out overexposed in post? Well, waveforms show you exactly where your brightness levels are so you can make the right adjustments before hitting record. No guessing, no surprises. Somewhat similar to waveforms, false color shows you exposure levels in your image. But unlike waveforms, false color is fantastic for dialing in skin tones. It gives you a clear, color-coded map of your exposure, so you know exactly what's too bright, what's too dark, or what's just right. Once you start using it, you'll wonder how you ever shot without it. If you shoot manual focus, chances are you're familiar with focus peaking. Focus peaking highlights what's sharp, so you never miss focus again, even if your subject is moving fast. It works by adding a colored outline around the areas in focus, making it easy to see. This is extremely useful when shooting with a shallow depth of field, where even the slightest shift can throw a subject out of focus. You can also preview your final look on set by applying a LUT directly to the monitor. This is really helpful when shooting in a flat log profile, where the raw image looks pretty dull and washed out. And let's be honest, when clients see that flat log footage, they almost always panic. So just throw a LUT on your monitor and they'll be complimenting your cinematic look and creative genius. Probably. And believe it or not, these tools just scratch the surface. There are tons more tools you can use depending on the monitor that you have. You probably already know that sunlight and camera screens don't get along. You can tilt your screen, shade it with your hand, but it still doesn't feel bright enough to see clearly. Plus, you waste time fighting your gear instead of shooting. But a large, bright monitor, something like 1,000 nits in brightness or more, is easy to see even in direct sunlight. This FeelWorld monitor I use has over 2,000 nits of brightness, which honestly was one of the selling points for me. For comparison, the LCD screen on my R5 is about 600-ish nits in brightness. A monitor cage isn't just metal, it's a problem solver. Need to mount a wireless transmitter? Boom. How about a focus wheel? Consider it done. It keeps your rig organized, clean, and helps you build a professional level setup without the cable spaghetti nightmare. And if your camera doesn't have a cage or has minimal mounting points, like my cageless Z-Cam right here, then a simple monitor mount can make your life so much easier. Communication on set can be chaos when you're the only one who can see the image. That's why having a large monitor that you can position for you and your team makes a huge difference. Now, the director sees what you see and they trust what's being shot because they can see results in real time. Now, from personal experience, I do recommend having a separate dedicated monitor for the director or client to use. This will not only keep people from literally breathing down your neck, but also adds a level of professionalism to a shoot. A large external monitor isn't just a nice to have, it's a practical tool that makes your job easier. It helps you work faster, focus better, and avoid costly or potentially embarrassing mistakes. And if you're serious about filmmaking, seeing your shot clearly should never be a guessing game. Now, I'm curious, if you're using an external monitor, which one are you using? Let me know down in the comments. And by the way, this video is part of a series I'm calling Gear I Wish I Bought Sooner. So if you thought this video was helpful, definitely check out this video right here. I think you'll enjoy it as well. And as always, thank you so much for spending just a little bit of time with me today, and I'll see you again in the next video.